guys, it's me, Mayor. I'm here to show you part 2 of how to get your character art together. So if you remember from last time, the character I chose was Michael Scott from The Office. And this is the image I'm using as my doodle. Full disclaimer, I actually didn't doodle this. It's something I found, but you guys will have a wonderful, beautiful doodle of either an environment or items that seem to speak to your character or patterns, however you decided to represent your character. So the first thing that you need to do is to make sure that is the correct size, the 8 by 10. So we're going to go to Image, Adjustments, and right under here there is, oh, sorry about that, Image, Canvas Size. And you can see this is a perfect square. We're going to put it into inches. So if we do 8 by 10, okay, and then if we zoom out, you'll see our canvas is now 8 by 10. You want this whole piece, oops, sorry about that, guys. You want this whole piece to take up the space of the canvas. So you're going to click the transform controls on top. You're going to hold shift, and you're going to pull the sides so that it fits. Now yours are going to fit a lot better than mine because you knew from the beginning that it has to fit into an 8 by 10. And this is something I just found. So I'm going to go, yeah, that looks good. I'm going to go with something that looks like that. Okay. And then we'll be able to move it. Okay, why don't we do that? I think that works for us. Okay, I'm going to click off of my transform controls on top. And now what we want to do is we want to bring in the transparent PNG of our character. So you go to File, Open, and Place. And what that's going to do is it's going to bring up your device wherever you saved it. And it's going to open it not only, it's going to open it in this file and not in its separate file. Okay, so Open and Place. Here's my Michael Scott. I hit Open, and it places him right there. Now I can move him however I want. Look at the relationship, especially if it's in an environment. The first thing that you see here, guys, is he looks way too small, right? He should be a lot bigger for this environment. So I'm going to hold shift, and I'm going to do something like that. I'm also going to move him over. I kind of like him there. I don't think I want to crop him off. I think this is where I'm going to go. Okay. So now we have to decide on a couple of things. We need to put a drop shadow behind him because if you remember our examples, they had drop shadows. And where you put that drop shadow, left, right, top, bottom, is really going to depend on your layout. The quickest way to do this is to go over to your layers, which is to the right, double click the character layer. Okay. And then, oh, sorry, my bad. Double click the name of the layer. Okay. And that is going to give you your layer styles. Okay, I'll do that again because I know the other window opened by accident. Okay, you go over to your layers, you double click the name. Right here for mine is Michael Scott. Don't double click the image or else it'll happen what just happened. It opens separately. Double click the name area. 1, 2. Okay, all right, so now it brings up your layer styles. You can do a lot here. You could do an outer glow or an inner glow, a color overlay. What we're really looking for is a drop shadow. So if you go all the way down to the bottom, you click drop shadow, and you could see it coming out a little bit. I tend not to like heavy drop shadows, but you guys can play around. The blend mode, you want to keep it on multiply. The color, you can choose whatever color you want. Let's say we want blue. The Office is that boring blue is Dunder Mifflin. Maybe a darker, super grayish, boring. Hit OK. The opacity, if you bring it up to 100, nothing is see-through. If you bring it down, you start getting more of a natural look. The angle is super important. As I move this, watch what happens to my drop shadow. So I want this to come to the left, to the right, up, down. I can control that. So I like to the right and up, so I'm going to kind of put it at 100, let's see, 168, that looks good. The distance is how far it comes out. So as I up the distance, how far it goes. This is something that isn't supposed to look super realistic because he's standing in front of a cartoon. So we can make the distance go pretty far out. It's fine. However you like it. The spread is how blurry things are. So if you up the spread, you can see the blurriness along with the size. That's super blurry. I tend to like things that are a little more crisp when we're doing stuff like this that isn't realistic. Again, it's up to you. I wouldn't add noise unless texture is super important to your character. Maybe something like a very rugged character, a villain, or a rough and tough kind of character. Then I could see adding noise. Then you're going to hit OK. And that is it. That's the character. Then you can go to File, go Export As, and you're going to export it as a JPEG so that you can then turn it in on Google Classroom. Okay guys, I hope you had fun with this one. Enjoy the process. This is the fun part. This is where you get to kind of add all the bells and whistles, and I look forward to seeing you guys in studio. Bye!